Welcome to the Home Builder Digital Marketing Podcast. Over 90% of today's home buyers start their buyer journey online. Here we talk with not only industry experts, but also your fellow home builder marketers to learn how you can succeed in our incredibly competitive digital world. And now, here are your hosts, Greg Bray and Kevin Weitzel.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of the Home Builder Digital Marketing Podcast. I'm Greg Bray with Blue Tangerine.
And I'm Kevin Weitzel with Zonda and Livable.
And we are excited to have joining us today, Kellie Little. Kellie is the VP of Marketing at FieldStone Homes. Thanks for being with us today.
Hey, thanks for letting me join you guys.
Well, Kellie, let's start off by helping folks get to know you a little bit. Give us a little bit of that background and some of the things you've been working on.
Oh, I appreciate the opportunity to be here, first of all. You know, my background has been in marketing for a number of years. I won't tell you how many decades, but I will say that I'm highly passionate about marketing. I've done it for a number of years. Started in IT and then transitioned over into real estate. Absolutely love new construction, and I've done pretty much everything you can do in the real estate market, but marketing is my passion. So here I am.
All right, that's the business side of you. And before we take a deeper dive into that, we need to know some interesting factoid about yourself that has zero to do with work, zero to do with the home building industry, something about you that our listeners can learn about.
Okay, so something about me is I love gardening. Being outdoors, you know, marketing can be a stressful job if you're doing it the right way. And just putting my hands in the dirt and enjoying the outdoors. I live in Utah. What better way than to be out in the yard gardening? And I have a really fun perennial garden. So there you go. That's what I do for relaxation as well as rejuvenation.
I love it.
Now, Utah's been known to be a desert. Do you grow cactus, or do you guys actually have a good irrigation system?
Okay, we have sprinklers for sure, and we need them because it is dry here. It is like a desert, but it's also beautiful. Like our growing season is shorter than some states, but from May until September, it's absolutely beautiful, and we don't have a lot of humidity, so we have lots of options on cool flowers. So I have a great time spending time outdoors and dragging the whole family out there with me.
Now, see, Kevin's in Arizona, and they grow rocks in their garden, I think.
Rocks and snakes.
You're having a lot of fun then.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Kellie, tell us a little bit more about how you got started in the home building industry and what kind of led you to be doing what you're doing today.
You know, my first experience in the home building industry is I was working for an IT company in marketing, and there was a builder that I knew, and he called me up out of the blue and he said, look, your husband's an agent. I want you to come in and do the cool marketing you do in this segment, which is in the real estate world that you're already doing in the IT industry. What do you think? I said, I think that sounds awesome. And I didn't have to get on a plane anymore and travel for IT. And I was really excited about the opportunity. So I told him I was in. I gave it a shot. And at the time I was expecting my second child. When I saw what it was like to be in a model home instead of traveling the world, I'm like, I love everything about this. I always enjoyed decorating, having events and all those things. So I just dove right into the industry and loved it from the very first day.
Well, tell us, Kellie, a little bit more about FieldStone Homes, the type of buyers that you guys are targeting and where you're building today.
Yeah, it's a great question. So FieldStone Homes, we have had other regions that we have sold in the past, but right now we are focused in Utah. We're expanding right now to southern Utah, and we're also in Idaho. The mix of our home buyers is interesting because we don't just have one type of product that we just build everywhere. So we will look at each purchase of land in a unique way, and then we come to market with a solution that fits that product with the land. So we are constantly having new architectural ideas and rebuilding our brand in different segments. But our primary focus is we do single family and townhomes. You'll see us all over the Wasatch Front, very heavy in this area from Park City down to southern Utah County, Layton, and those types of areas within Utah, and now in St. George.
You talk about customizing your offering to the land. How does that work from a marketing perspective of keeping kind of that cohesive brand and view to the buyers out there? Is it hard, or is it easy to kind of have it be different in each community like that?
Well, it's exciting because we have new things to offer, and we can pick up new home buyers and segments that we might not have been able to market to in the past. So that can be very exciting. Having new product is a fun way to market your brand and increase that awareness in different areas. But there are also big challenges that come with that. because everything has to be redone or invented as you go into that new area. So yeah, there are definitely challenges with it. But overall, we've been successful because we've been able to introduce awesome architecture and great ways to market to specific target markets and hit more demographics so that we don't get stuck in a single market. And that's been very helpful for us overall right now.
To drill down in that just a little bit more, when you guys are looking at, we want to customize something or come up with something new, do you start with, we want something for this type of buyer, or do you go with, we want this type of product or home, and then we're going to find the buyer that fits right in that type of home? Which way do you guys kind of start that process?
It really does depend on the community that we're going to be building, and that starts with the land buy. Because everything is driven by land initially. So we have to see what is available in land, what can we realistically purchase, and what solution are we going to come up with to fit that based on the current market and opportunity. So we have to pair those perfectly. And that can be a challenge sometimes, but the cool thing about that is that we do have to start with the land, but then we can go and take what we have there and come up with a solution based on our demographics. So without the land, we can't do anything. So it always starts there, but then we go and find out what buyer do we want to target for this land, come up with the best possible solution of what product will sell and be successful in that area for home buyers. What do they really want? Because ultimately, we're here to sell homes and we're here to take care of our customers.
So you mentioned that you've got a background in IT before you kind of got into real estate and home building. How does that influence your attraction to using technology in the sales and marketing process? Do you feel like you're more comfortable with technology maybe than some others might be, or is just the technology is everywhere and everybody wants it regardless?
Well, I think that the more you're involved with technology, the more awareness that you have. And so, yes, you definitely want to integrate that. But I think the interesting thing about being in IT is that what you do isn't just what's on the market right now, but it's an overall awareness of emerging technology and learning how to incorporate that into your business. So sometimes we see technology just in the moment, but it's really a much bigger picture than that. How you're going to use new and emerging technology to benefit your marketing strategy and get to more home buyers to increase your effective use of dollars.
That begs the question, what's the new thing that you're watching that you haven't used yet? What's out there that you're like going, oh, we're paying attention to this?
Well, that's a great question. Right now, personally, I'm watching AI to see how we're all going to be using this technology in many facets of marketing, as well as pretty much all business. And you can see right now, there are a lot of little ideas that are popping up, big ways that we can possibly use it. But I think that as we're reviewing this today, we're going to see some big changes in the future. And in some ways, I think we'll see some that we don't expect as well. So we might think AI is going to solve all of our problems, but I see it as another tool on the tool belt that we can use, but it's not going to go out and solve everyone's problems. I've heard some people say that, oh, AI is just going to do everything. AI is not going to do everything for us, but it can help enhance what we currently have to offer. And learning those things and then using them effectively is going to be different, I believe, for each marketer on those tools and how they can use those tools.
Yeah, those who are thinking it's going to do their job for them to the point where they won't have a job. I mean, that's one of the fears that some people have. It's like, well, my job's going to go away. Well, the people who don't learn how to use it, their jobs might go away because they're going to need to figure it out. But that's great. Any key experiments that you've already kind of played with at all, or anything to share there on the AI front?
Not yet, not to really dive into where I can tell you for sure this is what direction we need to go with it. So I think that we're going to continue trying some things, and I'll keep you posted on that.
Well, are there some key technologies that you already have implemented that you guys are really excited about how they have improved the customer's home buying experience and some of the experiences you've had trying to use technology to make it easier for your buyers?
Well, I think there are quite a few things that we are doing, but a couple that are more recent is making sure that we have an outstanding chatbot using things like U-Tours that can allow the home buyer to have better access, because we do have a sales team, but they're not going to be there from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Also, we're not open 7 days a week. I know some builders are, but we are not. So U-Tours have been highly effective use for our home buyers to get in. And what's interesting is that some of those home buyers once they're under contract as well, they don't even always want to call up their agent and say, hey, can I come in and show my friends and my family? But I notice a lot of them will go to UTour repeatedly. I think that's very cool because as they go to UTours, there's no pressure. They're there to give a tour of their future home. I think it's a really cool thing for them to do that. We're also looking at other things, just the way we use our CRM. I think that's also critical because that technology is constantly changing as well. And the way it's going to be using AI is going to impact how we work with our home buyers. Just some of the streamlined systems that are out there are really critical on top of mind right now.
Kellie, one little just brief note here, a little side hustle. Don't go trying to steal my job at UTour because I sell UTour product, being that Zonda acquired them. You just gave a glowing review of it. And if you steal all my thunder, what am I going to come to the table with?
Hey, I thought that's why I was here, Kevin. Let them know how awesome you are.
Well, I think what you just described, though, Kellie, is really interesting that you've got buyers doing their own like open house hosting without wanting, support from the sales team to show their friends and family, hey, this is the house we're looking at or we've already bought. That's a different little use case that I haven't really heard people talk about before.
Exactly. Talk about referrals, right?
Given the interactive floor plans, the site plans, showing real-time availability, view tours, being able to walk in and out of your home at any given time that you want to, do you ever foresee an opportunity where, especially in spec builds, where we wouldn't necessarily need even a salesperson, let alone a realtor?
To have someone there that can help you navigate, I think is very important. But I do think that we sometimes put it all into like one basket instead of separating those out. I think having a person there to help you with this big purchase and to navigate is really critical. There are some people that are confident in the home buying process. I wouldn't give you an exact percentage, but we all know that that's how it is. There are some that walk in, they're comfortable, they've studied online, they've gone out and looked at lots of model homes. They're like, I'm comfortable, I can make this decision. And then there are a lot of buyers out there that they need someone that they can ask questions to. They need a wise guide. They need to know that they have someone that they can go to and they know you're an expert. You will help them through this process. So I actually think that there's a real need for people, but I think there's a real need for technology and that we need to know the right time for the right solution within the home buying process, as well as once they're under contract and past closing.
So Kellie, as you are looking at all these different technologies, you're trying to decide what to implement, what not. Marketing has had more and more demands put on it. How do you go about vetting and deciding when you're going to outsource, which partners you want to work with? What do you want to hire and keep in-house? What are some of the processes you go through to make those decisions?
This sounds really cliche, but I love the aha moments. When I hear about something, I'm like, oh, I love that idea. And I know that people are going to love that idea. Those are the ones we need to look at incorporating because we know that people will be inspired by them. Being inspired in the process, I think, is getting harder and harder. And that's where we need amazing salespeople that can talk to a home buyer, get them excited about the process. So it's not just feeding up information. If we're just going to serve up information, that's not exciting unless we have incredible information to serve up, but it can get a little bit dummied down. When you've got the people and you've got all the information that's going out there, how we're serving up that information, I think, is what makes the difference.
So when you are then evaluating all of that, what are some of the success metrics that you use to say, oh, this is working or this isn't? How do you measure success?
Well, I do what some other people do in marketing. I look to see what others are doing. I mean, where is success in the market that we're missing? So I think that's an important part. That's where you come into play, is I want to talk to people that are experts in their area and they understand what they have to offer. We need to listen and see, is that something that will benefit our home buyers? Will it streamline the process? What's the ROI? I think it is so difficult right now. ROI is really interesting for us. We use a lot of tools that help us to evaluate things once it's in-house. Like we use Domo. A lot of builders are using Domo, but we can't use Domo until we've used something, right? So we have to start using that. But I think that's why a marketing person is needed, and they need to understand the needs in the industry, and they also need to have a vision of what can be, because when you have a vision of what you can do in marketing and you get excited about that, and then you can inspire others, that's where the home buyers are going to come into play and say, oh, wow, I love this. But I think that we have also the common sense factor. that comes into play in all of this as marketers, and that's where experience can really help and make a difference. I've been doing marketing for a very long time. I love, like I said, my aha moments because I know that others are going to love that too. So I think we have to also look at instinct and common sense, and then look at numbers of success within the industry already, draw on that, and then let's put that to work. Let's use those ideas. Not everything is going to be successful, and that is okay. But let's not leave something on the table that we should try just because we're not sure and we're thinking this could be really great and this could make a difference. Try things, try new things, and then put them through your system. And maybe it doesn't work and you drop it the next year, but I'm open to a lot of new things.
You mentioned experience. What are some of the things that you see the new kids coming out of school and trying to get marketing jobs? What are some of the things that your experience says, hey, guys, you should focus here versus there? Or what type of advice would you give to that new marketing associate who's just getting started?
Yeah, I just met with someone not long ago. She's up at the U and she's been studying marketing. Her dad's a realtor, and he used to work with my brokerage. He was one of my agents in new construction. And he's like, hey, will you meet with my daughter? Because she would love to work in the building industry in marketing. And I'm like, absolutely. And, as I talked to her, we went through all the different scenarios and the different things that we do. And I talked to her about how important digital is. You need to be camera ready. You need to be comfortable to get messaging out there in front of others, just using that type of experience. But it all ties back to, I think, passion for what we do. That sounds really simple, but I think there are a lot of technologies that come and go, and there are a lot of other things, but you need to have passion for what you do in marketing because it's a difficult job if you do it the right way. It's fast paced, it's intense. You're doing a lot of events, you're doing a lot of different things, and every day you are a problem solver. And so that's what I talked to her about, is just going after the passion. You got to love it because there are going to be some dark days, but it's really fun job. Keep it fresh, keep things real, and get ready to go to work. Really embrace technology out there. And these young people, they really do already. They're ready. I mean, they're ready to come in. But one thing that I see is a lack of passion when I've worked with a few people when they come in at first. They're not passionate about pushing over and pushing through. They like to go around. The best marketers that I've seen out there, and this is for people coming into the market as well, is that don't take the easy path. I think sometimes in marketing, because we have many options and we can do it a lot of different ways. Sometimes the best way to do it is through it and not around. And don't try to simplify things. Go through the roadblocks. You will stand out if you do those things that are the hardest to do. I see some marketers, they just dummy things down, scale it back, because that's all that their CEO requires. Or maybe they're like, well, that's all we really need to do. But let's take it up a notch. Let's make marketing what it was intended to be and really knock it out of the park. So I think marketing is very exciting, but I do think sometimes we leave things on the table and we shouldn't.
Well, Kellie, I know our listeners can't see it, but behind you on your wall, you've got a sign that says Think Bold. It sounds like that might be a core value maybe at FieldStone Homes. Is that something that's just yours, or is that something larger at the company, this idea of thinking bold?
Yeah, it is something that's within our entire company, but it stemmed from the marketing team because it's all about that mentality, right? We want people to think bold. Let's try some things. Let's do some things. Let's be bold in our approach, bold in our design, and bold in how we are helping a home buyer through this process, take it up to that next level. So yeah, we do think bold at FieldStone Homes. We have a new theme that we're just introducing. You'll see that out there as well. And it's called It's Time. We believe it's time to buy a new home. I know some people, they question, is it time? Well, I believe it's time to buy a new home. When you look at everything that's in the market today, it is still time to buy a new home. So we're really focused right now on it's time, but these are things that we do bring into our company. We push out to realtors, we push out to home buyers, and we have fun with messaging. And that's one of the things that you asked earlier that brings all of our messaging together for different communities. When you have a theme and you bring the whole team, the whole company and our buyers on this journey together with the theme, it can be really fun. And that's one of them is Think Bold.
No, I love the way that you can use something like that. And again, like you say, tie it across different types of communities, different types of buyers, but they can still think of your brand in that way, regardless of where they sit on whether they're a townhome or a single family home or whatnot that they're looking to buy.
Yeah,
But have you
thanks.
ever thought about spinning it, like maybe just arbitrarily doing some Facebook ads with competitors' names that say, think mold? Have you ever thought about that?
That's marketing genius or failure. I don't know which one that is.
Kevin offers this advice free of charge to all of our listeners today.
Free
So
of charge. That's right.
now we're going to watch for the think mold with the resale home.
Just not only think mold, but think old.
Yeah.
You really want that old house that's going to be falling apart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly, what are some places you go to look for new ideas other than listening to Kevin?
He is brilliant, you know. So of course I listen to Kevin. Yeah. Oh dear. You know, I think ideas for marketing are all around us because they're driven by people. We're selling homes here. That's a fun business to be in. It really is so fun. But at the end of the day, we're helping people with the solution of something that they need. So I think it's actually in the people. I mean, you look at people and you're like, what do they need? What do they need to hear? What inspires them? You work with people and you're like, wow, this is something that would help them. And then you pair that with when you're on the internet and you see this cool idea or something pops up, or you're at retail stores. And we don't need to get a lot into this because we're talking more digital today, but I do believe that retail stores and retail storefronts have a lot to do with how we put our product out there. And that approach can be online as well as walk-in. We can get great ideas from big retailers. They are working with millions of people. Look at some of their solutions. So there's a lot to gain out there from organizations that meet just the basic needs of humans. I think there's a lot to learn from those types of companies, and I watch them quite closely.
Well, Kelly, we do appreciate your time today and you sharing so freely. Any last words of advice to our marketing audience out there today that you wanted to share?
The only advice, and I'm sure that I would love to hear from others as well, is the market can be difficult sometimes, but I think the key to marketing is just to keep it fresh. Let's have a little bit of fun here, but we're here to provide real solutions for real home buyers. It's a great place for us to be, where we get to tell these fun stories, share the opportunity to have a new home. There's no place I'd rather be. I mean, it's just a great, great industry that we're in, and we're helping people with something they absolutely need and that they absolutely want. And the way that we serve up that solution, it matters. So I think that as an industry, every one of us, the messaging, I think we need to be optimistic and be positive in the market we're in today, because it is a great time to buy a new home. And I think as we all continue to push that out there, that we do have the opportunity to help people embrace the idea of buying a new home.
There is not enough optimism in the world today, so we could all help make it a more optimistic place. Thank you for sure.
And think bold, think bold and think optimistic. And I think that we're going to get them. So that's what we're doing over at FieldStone Homes.
Well, Kelly, if somebody wants to reach out and connect with you, what's the best way for them to get in touch?
Oh, just send me an email or feel free to text me, but reach out. I love to talk with other marketers. So I really enjoy that aspect of what we can do. And my email is Kellie, Kellie, L for little. So Kellie L at fieldstonehomes.com.
And we'll drop that in the show notes for everybody as well. Well, thanks so much again, Kelly, for being with us today. And thank you, everybody, for listening to the Home Builder Digital Marketing Podcast. I'm Greg Bray with Blue Tangerine.
And I'm Kevin Weitzel with Zonda and Livable.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about how Blue Tangerine and Zonda Livable can help you generate more qualified home buyer leads, visit bluetangerine.com and livable.com. That's LIVABL.com. If you've enjoyed our show today, please tell a friend, leave us a review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Be sure to join us again on the Home Builder Digital Marketing Podcast.